These are the craziest and most insane moments the NFL world has gotten to witness during the playoffs, starting from some unique plays all the way to literally achieving perfection. We'll get there eventually, but first we gotta travel back to January 8, 2011. It's the wildcard round of the playoffs and the Saints are visiting the Seahawks. Both teams came back and forth during the game, but after an amazing third quarter, the Seahawks took a comfortable 34-20 lead. The Saints, however, scored on back-to-back drives, making it just a 4-point game. But then the unthinkable happened. With 3.5 minutes to go in the game, leading by 4, running back Marshawn Lynch gets the carry and the entire NFL world gets shocked. There goes a dominant and strong 67-yard touchdown run, which would make its way into NFL history books. This play helped the Seahawks win that game, and it would be remembered by every fan as the Beastquake, one of the greatest runs of all time. But this play happened with a lot of time left on the clock. What's coming up next had a 1 in a million chance of happening, and somehow it did. The date is January 14th, 2018. It's divisional round Sunday, and the Minnesota Vikings are hosting the New Orleans Saints on what seems to be another good playoff game. After trailing by 3 scores at halftime, Drew Brees and the Saints came back into the game and managed to get a 1-point lead with less than 30 seconds remaining in the game. The Vikings then start their last drive at their own 25, and Stefon Diggs gets 19 yards to get Minnesota fans a glimpse of hope. It wasn't enough though, as the Vikings were yet to reach midfield with 14 seconds left on the clock. It had to be one quick pass to the sidelines and then pray for Kay Forbeth to make the field goal. So, 3rd down and 10 on Minnesota's 39-yard line. Keenum steps into it and launches a dime to Stefon Diggs, who makes an incredible catch. I'm pretty sure every Vikings fan was yelling at their TVs for him to step out of bounds. But wait, there's not a single defender in his way. Diggs goes into the end zone as time expires and the Vikings pull off a one-in-a-lifetime miracle. Insane, isn't it? Well, things will get way crazier as we go along, so make sure to stick around. The Minneapolis Miracle sure had its magic, but it didn't lead to anything great. One play that did: the Immaculate Reception. December 23rd of 1972 completely changed the history of the sport, as the Pittsburgh Steelers faced the Oakland Raiders in the divisional round of the playoffs. It was quite a defensive game, and it came down to a 1-point Raiders lead with just over a minute left in regulation. It's 4th down and 10 from Pittsburgh's 40-yard line. Terry Bradshaw manages to escape the pressure to keep the play alive, throws a pass, and it's knocked away, seemingly ending the Steelers' postseason. But then the extraordinary happened. Franco Harris comes out of nowhere and scoops the ball right before it hits the ground. Stunned by the miracle, Raiders players can't catch Harris as he scores a go-ahead touchdown that would be the beginning of a dominant era for the Pittsburgh Steelers, who would go on to win 6 Super Bowls since. They might have been the first ones to do it, but the Patriots with Tom Brady also got 6 Lombardis, and one of them came in one of the craziest scenarios the NFL has ever seen. Trailing 28-3 in Super Bowl 51, the New England Patriots were having quite a struggle against MVP Matt Ryan and the Atlanta Falcons. Then we got to see this. Tom Brady focusing only on this game as if nothing else mattered. The Patriots marched down the field and started scoring left and right. There was even a miraculous play by Julian Edelman in the middle of all this madness. With less than 1 minute remaining in the ballgame, James White gets the handoff and takes it in for the score, tying the game up and sending it to overtime. The Patriots won the toss, and the rest is history, as this was the first ever Super Bowl to go into halftime and the biggest comeback in the event's history. Still, the Super Bowl has had its fair share of crazy moments, and one of them came in the Bills vs Giants game back in Super Bowl 25. It's January 27th of 1991, as Jim Kelly led Buffalo to its very first Super Bowl appearance, while Jeff Hustler was trying to lead his team to its second Super Bowl win. Buffalo took a 12-10 lead going into halftime, but after a great second half by the Giants, they found themselves trailing by just 1 point as the game was on its closing stages. Jim Kelly led the Bills offense all the way to the Giants' 29-yard line, just in range for Scott Norwood to give his team its first ever Super Bowl win. So it comes down to this: 47-yard attempt from the left hash, and it's missed wide right. The Giants cede the clock and Buffalo falls short by just 1 point. And the worst part? The Bills would go on to lose 4 consecutive Super Bowls. I mean, what can be worse than that? Well, as the 2007 New England Patriots, the stacked team led by duo of Tom Brady and Randy Moss achieved the first ever 16-0 regular season, marking the second time in NFL NFL history, a team had gone undefeated for the entire year. The Patriots made their way into the Super Bowl, where they would face Eli Manning and the 10-6 New York Giants. It was a defensive first half, and the Patriots were in control of the game, having a 7-3 lead going into the break. However, after a scoreless third quarter, the Giants got the lead after a solid touchdown drive. But the undefeated Patriots wouldn't go down this easily, as Brady found Randy Moss to get the lead with just under 3 minutes left to go. Eli Manning and the offense entered the game, and the Giants started marching down the field. The Patriots defense had been playing good all game, but now's the time to shine, as the Giants offense is facing a 3rd down and 5 on their own 44-yard line. Eli Manning somehow escapes the sack, and there goes the ball, up and caught with the helmet deep into Patriots territory. The helmet catch gave the Giants a much needed spark and led to a touchdown, which would give the Giants their 4th and most recent Super Bowl victory. That way, the Patriots came home empty-handed, and the dream of the undefeated season came to an end, leaving the first team to ever do it as the only one to do so. That team, the 1972 Miami Dolphins. September 17th of that year marked the beginning of arguably the greatest achievement in the sport's history. The Dolphins started out their season with a victory over the Chiefs. They won their second game, then the next one, and so on until December 16th, they established themselves in the history books. The Dolphins defeated the Ravens by a score of 16-0 to mark the first ever undefeated season in NFL history, under legendary head coach Don Shula. However, the task wasn't completed just yet. Winning regular season games doesn't mean a thing if you can't win the Super Bowl. Shula and his team understood the assignment and defeated the Browns and Steelers to make their way into the 7th edition of the Super Bowl. Miami dominated the entire game as they had a 14-0 lead going into the final quarter of the game. The Redskins were able to score a touchdown, but they weren't able to stop the unstoppable. The Miami Dolphins had achieved perfection, something so extraordinary the NFL is yet to witness it again. Even after almost half a century, Shula's and the Dolphins record is still intact, and it will probably never be beaten. Anyways, I hope you liked this video. If you did, please consider subscribing. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.